Well, howdy, y'all. Call me Reverend. Or, I guess call me whatever you want, but that's what I decided that my dumbass internet name should be for whatever reason. Whenever I saw that Sork was using the Winona avatar, I was like instantly tilted because Winona's the best gym leader ever because her boss mon is an Altaria. So I knew that this whole battle I was going to have to be like staring my waifu in the face while I was disgracing her, and I really wasn't ready for that. The team I'm using was posted by Flaming Victini in the team building competition thread on the OU subforum. It wasn't the team that won that round, but it was definitely my favorite team that got posted. I think he said that he built it with the help of G-Mick, and it was my favorite almost entirely because it has my favorite Mega Lopunny set on it, Sub Power Up Punch, which just fucking destroys like slower balance teams and stall teams. And then the actual, like the core that the team was built around was Entei and Celebi. The reason for that was because whoever the fuck posted that thread, Morty, was like, he had just seen the whatever the fuck Pokemon movie it is that has both of them in it. So that's the reason that was the core, not because they actually work together that well, but they still do work together fairly well, assuming that you're using the primo Celebi set, which is Swords Dance Baton Pass, which is just fucking amazing and works really well with this team. Entei is a really, really good Pokemon in general. Well, like, they're both good, but people know Celebi's good. People don't know that Entei's good, but Entei is fucking insanely good, just because Sacred Fire is one of the dumbest moves in the game. And then the Fire, Water, Grass core gets rounded out by Azumarill, who is almost entirely just there for, like, Dragons, but also for dropping play rough nukes because it is choice banded. And then that is supplemented by the anti-offense core of Tyranitar and Excadrill, who destroy offensive teams and also provide a check to birds, which is definitely what you're going to want on a team with a Lopunny and a Celebi on it. And then also provide hazards and remove hazards for the Excadrill. It is just cash all the way down. So I'm going to go ahead and lead off with Gojira because I assumed that he was going to lead with his Garchomp, and it is Shuckaberry, Ice Beam, Tyranitar, so I was going to try to bait that and kill it with an Ice Beam, but he does lead off with his Serperior. I was really hoping James Earl Jones was going to be able to take that Leaf Storm better, but I'm absolutely going to die to the next one, so I just go out into Miami Vice. He gets scared and goes out into his Hippowdon. I guess he didn't want to take like a Choice Band Extreme Speed, which I don't have because it's Charcoal, but it ends up working out because I can bring Soapmaker in on the Stealth Rock. I don't want to start setting up with Power Up Punch because he's still got a Garchomp. I just wanted to get my Mega Evolution, which is a lot harder to do with Power Up Punch Encore than it is with Fake Out. No, like, I thought he was going to go in his Garchomp, so that's why I go into Gojira again. He does go out into his Altaria, so I went out into James Earl Jones just so that he could, like, die, but it's Dragon Dance Altaria, which is really, really fucking scary because I have to go out into Gojira just to get my sand up for Miami Vice, and I was hoping this Ice Beam was going to do more peep this spectacular damage. That's what I live for. I definitely thought at this point I was just going to get 6-0'd by this Altaria, which, like, I would have been fine with because Altaria is my powerful boyfriend, and the faster he sweeps me, the faster I can write my fanfic where he kisses my fursona on the lips. But he doesn't go out into any of his, like, 4 guaranteed Excadrill switch-ins for some reason. I guess he thought he was going to be faster than me, but defensive Dragon Dance Altaria is really incredibly slow, so I can just revenge kill that with an Iron Head, end up with Ogres Have Layers, and against the Serperior, get the slow Baton Pass so that Soapmaker doesn't have to take a hit on the switch-in, and go ahead and fucking disembowel this Hippowdon with 80% damage from this high jump kick, and then shoutouts to this dude's Magneton for jumping on this fucking grenade, the real hero of this battle, because he goes ahead and dies to the Power-Up Punch so that he can go ahead and try to revenge kill me with his Excadrill. I was hoping to bring Miami Vice in on an Earthquake, but he knew that I was Balloon from earlier, so he does just go for an Iron Head. I definitely shouldn't have risked this speed tie, because I'm definitely not Jolly, but I do just go for an Earthquake, because that's really all I could have done at that point, while the Serperior comes in, and then he goes out into his Garchomp just to stall out the Sand turns, but now I know that that is offensive Garchomp because it didn't have Rocky Helmet, so I can go ahead and bring in Ogres Have Layers without having to worry about taking a Dragon Tail or anything, and just go ahead and set up a Swords Dance. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't even really need to Baton Pass into anything because I can just go ahead and really sweep his team with this because I don't have to worry about dying to the Excadrill from full health, which is really fucking tasty. Or so I thought until I get the amazing double flinch from Ironhead by the Excadrill, because this is like legitimate worst game ever made, Pokemon ORAS, and Ogres Have Layers is just gonna get finished off by the sand. Supremely unfortunate, but Soapmaker can come out with such confidence, and I had completely forgotten that this isn't fake out Lopunny, so I wouldn't have been able to stall out that sand turn anyway, and something would have had to die, but he rage quits before he could find that out. So the lesson of the day is, you just have to play with confidence. You don't actually have to know what you're doing. You just have to act like you do, and that's 90% of the game. So, Shiny Excadrill is the best shiny in the game, right? Like, no one's going to try to disagree with me on that, because I feel like that's just an objective fact. It is incredibly hype. Almost as hype as this motherfucker's avatar, actually. I just realized what it is. How have I never seen that one on the ladder? That one's amazing. I don't even know what the fuck game that one's from, but I'm going to go ahead and lead off with James Earl Jones for this battle, because I thought that as long as I thought that he would assume that I'm Stone Edge, so he wouldn't want to bring his Charizard into it, and it sort of destroys anything else with a Sacred Fire, but he does just bring his Charizard in at this point, playing the grimiest mind game, naming it Mega X, so I had no idea what the fuck to expect. Like, that could very well have just, like, not even been Mega Charizard. Like, the only mind game grimier than that, okay, is just straight up just using a shiny Charizard, because if you do that, people will never fucking know what Mega you are. So I just go out into Miami Vice there, hoping that I can come in on an Earthquake, but it is just going to pop my balloon with an Iron Head, and then go ahead and bring out Ogres Have Layers while he double switches into his Tornadus, which is really shitty, because I'm going to need to go out into Gojira, which just gives him a switch into Starmie. I definitely thought that Ogres Have Layers was going to be able to, like, tank anything from the Starmie. Does a whole mess with Ice Beam, and then I don't know how to do math. I was like, okay, he doesn't have analytics, so this one won't kill me. Nah, just go ahead and get fucking murked, but I can go ahead and bring out Soapmaker. He definitely thought that I was fake out. Like, that is something that really works in this set's favor, is that 99% of the time people are just going to think that you have fake out, so you don't need to do it, because you're going to, like, force a switch anyway. Go for a Power Up Punch, because I thought he was going to slack off that turn, but this is, like, the one Hippowdon in the fucking universe that thinks using Toxic is a good idea, which is actually sort of scary for me, but at this point, I am really just gonna, like, kill anything on his team with a high jump kick. Because, like, even if he had gone into, like, his Tornadus there, that still would have killed it. So I end up killing his Jirachi, which is amazing, because that would have been really annoying for my team. Go out into Miami Vice. I know that he's going to die, but I just want to get a free switch into Muscle Man, because Muscle Man is just going to get a free kill with Waterfall at this point, no matter what he wants to bring in. Kill the Excadrill. He really shouldn't have let that die, because he's still got a Hippowdon to provide sand for it, and I don't have any ground immunities at this point, so he does just end up bringing Star in against Gojira. I went for Stealth Rock this turn because I didn't want him to Rapid Spin. I'm fine with Gojira dying as long as the rocks stay up for the Charizard and Tornadus, especially because I can bring out Soapmaker here and get a free kill, because everything on his team is, like, at the range where it's just going to die. Hippowdon does come out. I thought he was going to slack off this turn. He does just go for an Earthquake, but James Earl Jones is going to play through the pain and get the burn with Sacred Fire. Oh, what a fucking soldier. That doesn't really end up mattering too much. I guess it kind of does, because that means that, like, I don't have to risk going for a high jump kick with Soapmaker later. I can just go for a return. Get another free kill with Muscle Man. He is just going to bring out his Charizard X, and he can't go for a Dragon Dance, which is huge, because I don't have to worry about it being faster than Soapmaker at this point, who is just going to come out, go for a high jump kick, which was probably really unnecessary. I almost definitely could have killed it with a return at that point, but I didn't really want to do a calc, because I don't play that weak shit, and I can just go ahead and finish off the Hippowdon with a return. Was that like 4 kills for Soapmaker that game? Jesus Christ. So fucking relentless. Like, Mega Lopunny is absolutely the best Pokemon in OU until it's the worst Pokemon in OU, because it misses a high jump kick and loses half its health and then loses you the game, which is always, like, the most infuriating moment of laddering in the universe. Because for some reason, Game Freak thinks 90% accuracy moves are fucking acceptable ever, even though they never are. And I don't even know what the worst offender there is, if it's Dragon Tail or High Jump Kick. Because, like, When either of those moves miss, that is a very laptop endangering moment, because I'm ready to just throw it out a fucking window. But when Mega Lopunny actually decides to like wear her lens crafters that day, she's really fun to use, because like she's got Scrappy obviously, so you just keep clicking return and high jump kick until they don't have anything to click return and high jump kick on anymore, and she's just like standing victorious with her bow and her little arm fluffs and her little boots like a fucking savage.